What's up, guys? Today we're doing a tier list for Year 10, Season 1, Operation Prep Phase with Rauora, and we're doing a special tier list for solo queue operators. Who you should play in solo queue to win more matches. We'll be going through all the operators, starting with attackers, and then going to defenders afterwards. So, let's get to it. Striker. As a solo queue operator, he's not bad because you can kind of deal with anything you need to. So right in the middle of the board, that's going to be the standard. EMPs and heartbeat charges, as well as grenades and flashbangs, and a decent gun and speed. So not too bad. Sledge. Operators that have explosives are going to be a little bit higher on the list because I do think that in solo, you can get a lot more done when you have something that can destroy something. Sledge, a little bit higher. Thatcher in solo is going to be a little bit more rough because you are reliant on teammates a lot of the time, so he's going to be a little bit lower. Ash, solo queue is going to be an S tier. You're fast, you have a good gun, you're going to blow things up. Always going to be a solid pick. Thermite in solo land, again, is also going to be in the C tier category because, again, you're very vulnerable when you place that hard breach down. Yeah, so... we got Twitch. So I like Twitch and I like Brava, but the problem is operators that rely on camera utility, you're out of the fight. Your teammates are fighting in a 4v5. You can't really help them too much. So if you're not in the fight, you're going to be lower on the list. So I'm placing in C tier. Montaigne, Montaigne solo queue. Yeah, B tier, because you might not have the backup you need. Glaz, I'm placing Glaz at D tier. Doing a Glaz play out of the woodworks in solo queue land is going to be brutal. Same with Fuse plays. It's just not going to work out the way you want. It never will. Blitz in solo land is going to be a lot higher. A tier, because you can get a lot done. Push the map. IQ. Going underneath. She does have grenades, so I will place her in B tier in solo land. It can be somewhat effective in terms of the frag potential, but I do think there are better options than IQ. I struggle to place her lower than that because her Yuzo can be fairly decent in solo queue. Buck, easy A tier. Can deal with anything. Use shotgun. A lot of soft destruction. Blackbeard. He's gotta be an S tier. You have a shield and you can fight. You have grenades. You have literally the whole kit. That's why Blackbeard's banned so often. He's just so good in every situation. Making sure I don't miss attackers as I go through. Capital, Swiss Army knife, able to deal with really anything that he runs into. So always going to be solid, but definitely not the best at anything. So Hibana is going to be A tier because I do think that if you do want to bring a hard breacher, she is a decent pick. Because you can also kind of frag a little bit. Jackal's going to be an S tier. He definitely is really decent for the solo queue. So you can run around and find the roamers and just kind of push whatever you need to. Ying, doing crazy Ying plays can be okay, but without the proper backup, you'll probably kill one then die afterwards. But it can be good. Dokkaebi, S tier. Don't really need to coordinate that well with your teammates because you just call phones and everyone can kind of know what's happening with that. Pretty easy to figure that one out. Zofia, I just really hate her guns and how slow she is. She has a decent kit. It's just that her gun is mid and she's slow as hell. So I gotta place her seats here. Definitely slower operator is gonna be lower on the list. You need an operator that can make the plays that you need to make, or their ability needs to be so damn good, it won't matter. Finka, I'm placing Finka in A tier. Maybe I'm biased, but I think Finka is a really good entry operator. I would probably, honestly, my gut wants me to place her at S tier, but her gun is a little tough to use as compared to the other guns, but her ability is so good and she has grenades. Line, easy A tier, grenades and the scans and the guns. Always solid pick. Maverick in solo, he's gotta be C tier. Yeah, you can deal with the wall yourself, but you're just so vulnerable opening that wall. He's gotta be lower. Nomad, S tier. Flank watch, entry ability, speed, guns. She has it all. Gridlock. I like Gridlock, but she would be an A tier, except that she is slow as shit. Her guns are good, her ability is good, she has grenades, but she is slow as hell. In solo, you kind of need a little bit of speed if you really want to get something done. Amaru, again with Ying, a crazy Amaru play could be good, could be effective, but the chance of that happening often is going to be pretty low. Callie in solo queue, I don't want to play this Callie next to Glass and Fuse, but it feels wrong to place her at C tier, so I'm going to place her at least at the top of D tier. None of these are in order, but I mean, I got to do that for my own subconscious. Callie is one of those really baity picks that can be good, but a lot of times you just end up baiting your 9. So Ayana, she doesn't have that much utility clear, but she does have decent weaponry. I just don't really think that she's a very solid solo pick, because her ability is cloning and droning, and unless you're coordinating with teammates, it tends to fall a little short. Ace is probably the go-to solo queue operator hard breach that you pick. You have a good gun, really easy to use breaches that are really, yeah, I mean, you're not really in danger really when you throw those, so always solid. Zero, placing at, I'll place him at C tier. No one's gonna watch your cameras besides yourself, but you do have a Gon 6. You have utility burn. You can have a hard breach. I mean, he can do a lot of everything. He's just not the best at anything. Now we got Flores. Again, camera operators tend to be a little bit lower, but Flores is more like you can use 1 or 2 and then you can just go. So I would place Flores up probably to the A tier. No one will really cover you when you use Flores, so actually I'd probably place him at B tier because shit, I've died as Flores while someone's pushing me while I'm trying to blow things up. Am I view body? No, I'm streaming. Osa. We have Osa. She's slow as hell. Shields are okay. I mean, she can be fairly effective, but like I don't want to place Osa over B tier. I feel like she sits there safely. Sens. C tier. Grenades. I mean, the ability can be useful, but I just probably wouldn't be my go-to thing personally. Grim, A tier easily. You can clear out you clear everything out pretty easily. And then you can push in, and you have a good gun with speed. Brava, again, next to the Twitch. An operator that you might spend like 30 seconds to a minute on drone while your teammates are doing things, unless you're coordinating with them, telling them to slow the hell down. I mean, you might get cooked. We got Ram solo queue. I mean, pretty easy to use vert, but you make a lot of damn noise and you are slow. So that you're probably, most Ram players at solo queue will probably end up getting flanked unless they have teammates running around near them. Deimos is kind of already kind of a solo queue, even on a team. So I don't really think that Deimos is affected too much, especially with this kit. And then Rauora. I think that she can actually do fairly decent things solo with the doors and pushing by herself. So, pass knock, heard. Thank you, brother. Knock in solo queue. I'm going to say don't even bother. I mean, bank, garage. But any other place that you would ever really take her? Probably not. Bank, garage. So. All right, this is the attacker lineup for the solo queue. So basically what we have here are operators that can either get kills, take map control, do things on their own without having to coordinate too much. Yeah, in solo queue you will have some team support, but like it'll probably be pretty loose. You may not have that much team support, especially if you're a console player. This is how I view the game in terms of like S tier being like an operator that you're probably going to win more often picking this operator. And then like going down the list, if you're like solo, like if you bring Thermite and it's Clubhouse and they have a Cade and no one brings EMPs, then you're left holding Trow. But I mean, if Thermite paired with Thatcher, instantly goes up a little bit more. But it's just like if you're by yourself, no one's listening to you at all, and you just kind of have to do your own thing, this is what I would do. So. All right, now defenders. Starting with Striker. Striker B tier. Striker B tier. I mean, actually, with Striker, I'd probably play Striker a little bit lower because a lot of operators are already going to give those kits. He does have like a shield and a nitro or whatever you want to do, but I do feel like there's a lot of defenders that are going to have more and better utility than that. Smoke in solo can be fairly effective. I definitely don't think he's S tier because of your overall weaponry, unless you're really choosing your firefights. If you're left in a 1vx in Smoke, it does become a little bit difficult that they all have ACOGs on you. So, can be okay, but Mute a little bit less so than Smoke because you are a little bit slower. You do have a Nitro, though, so that could counteract it, but I do like how Smoke is a little bit faster to be able to close the distance with his close-range weapons. We got Castle in solo queue. Can't go any higher than a C tier. Forcing your teammates to deal with a Castle strat if you don't know what the hell you're doing is going to be tough. If you do know what you're doing and your teammates don't know, I mean, you're still like giving them a labyrinth to go through and they don't really understand what's happening. So you really have to know what you're doing as Castle, and solo queue, you're probably better off just avoiding it. Pulse. Definitely C tier. If they just hit the site and you're just underneath and you miss your nitro, I mean, you're just running up the staircase to your death. So. All right. Doc. I hate to do this, but Doc in solo queue is kind of king. You have barbed wire for the early rush. You have a bailiff to set up the site and lines of sight that you need. You have an ACOG MP5, which is one of the best defender guns, and you have heals. When you take a firefight, you can just heal yourself off, and you know you can. People know. You know, when you have a doc, they just like, you know, they get hurt, they run up to the dock and get healed. So it doesn't really take much coordination to understand how doc works. Rook, on the flip side, I think is a lot worse than doc, even though he's probably basically the same. He doesn't have the bailiff, and his ability isn't as good as doc, personally. So I will place the Rook at C tier because I do think that people think that if you pick... Actually, I'll place Rook at D tier. I know this is going to be weird, but I think that when people see you pick Rook, they assume you're throwing, unless you go nuke. And really, if you pick Rook, you're picking it for the MP5, and you could have just done them with Doc. But the reason why you chose Rook is because someone already chose Doc. So, I mean, I'll place Rook a little bit higher, but Capkin, I mean, that's an easy S. I mean, an ability that kills people as they run through doors. A good gun. I mean, can't really go wrong with that. Tuchanka, I'm sorry, but you just don't bother, bro. Just don't even bother. Don't even bother. Yag, probably close to the Mute. I mean, his ability is nice. So if you don't want to get like rushed by util, it's pretty easy to play around as a defender. You kind of know what that utility does off the flip. And his guns are actually really good. I've always loved Jaeger's carbine, but he does have a nitro. So Bandito, I think that you can play Bandit solo queue pretty easily, like tricking walls and stuff, and you have a good gun, you're fast, and you have a nitro. So Bandit's kill potential after like the wall tricking is done is pretty high. And there's always usually something on every map that you can probably Bandit just to kind of force them to have to open something. So it's, you're gonna get something out of it. Frost, I think, is easily at least an A tier. Shotgun setup, good long range gun, frost mats that stop early aggression. You have a shield that you can use, but like, you know, shield's not as important in solo land unless you're doing some type of strat and you're playing off your own shield. Caveira, I love Caveira. Caveira is very fun to play, but Caveira is just not a good operator. So Rook mains shower with socks on. You gotta stay protected, brother. Echo, camera operators on defense, I feel like are a little bit better than the attackers that are mostly on cameras because you can usually be in power positions and play off your own intel. So when I have Rook at C tier, I'm placing Echo at... I'll place Echo at B tier. I'll place Echo at B tier. But that's fair. I do like Echo's gun. Legion, I feel like it's an S tier. I mean, you can hold so much of the map yourself. It's not really dependent on your team to really do anything, and you have a solid gun and a shotgun to make lines of sight and rotate when you need to. Ella, kind of like off-brand Legion. can be a better gun depending on the player using it, depending on the situation. But I do feel like Legion probably wins out over Ela personally. Vigil, Bosch G Savant, SMG 12. I mean, I'll place Vigil right smack dab in the middle because I feel like unless you're really dropping kills, Vigil's useless. Like, I will see people going 1 and 4, picking Vigil every round and just dying. You effectively making your team play a 4v5 every round. You have no util like on the board at all that your teammate can play off of. So, depending on who's playing them, can be higher. Depending on who's playing them, could be lower. Right in the middle is perfectly fine with me. Valkyrie, I almost missed Valk. Cameras. I mean, her cameras are so easy to play off of, but you're not going to get calls off your cameras. But like, even just for yourself, if you're using them around where you're playing, it can still be extremely effective with nitros, like kind of like a pseudo pulse with an MPX is pretty fast. I mean, I gotta place Valk lower because have you guys ever had Valk cams where your teammates just don't ever watch them? It might give you false confidence that someone's actually watching a flank or an angle that you know you have a Valk cam for, but no one's actually watching it. So that one hurts to do. Maestro, a little bit slower than Echo, and his guns are a little bit harder to use on the fly. I'll place him in C tier because he can be good. I mean, LMG on defense is kind of nuts, but the meatball is just very, very slow. Alibi. She's fast, but I mean, there's just no real reason to bring an Alibi. I just don't really see why. But I mean, Vigil is on the board, so I mean, Alibi does as much as Vigil, I guess. But I can't place it that high. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. Cade, I mean, pretty easy operator to use in solo. You just have to, you know, the hardest thing about Cade is your kill potential. It's a little bit harder to kill people with that shotgun, long range or close range. It's the only thing that's really wrong with it, but like keeping a hatch closed is going to give you a lot more potential to actually win the round. Yeah. Clash in solo queue. I mean, I'll place her C tier. I hate Clash players, so I want to place her in D tier, but I'll place her C tier because it can be okay. But because I don't know about you guys, but if I'm playing solo queue and I run into a Clash, I am really goddamn pissed off. So I have to balance that with like, is she good? Mozzie. I'll place him at B tier. The anti-incel stealing cameras, nitros, roaming. I mean, he can be an effective force. Warden. Depending on how you play Warden, he can either be a lot lower or a lot higher. So I'm placing him right in the middle because he's kind of like Vigil. He could be a decent operator who's like stopping the early aggression, or he could be a guy that's just getting shit on and then has no util. So Goyo is an easy A tier operator. I mean, S tier. S tier. I'll place Goyo at S tier. I don't mind. The Goyo fires are really annoying to deal with personally. You know, having to deal with it as an attacker. And Goyo is fast, he's impacts, and has a really damn good gun. So, can't really go wrong with that. Get some kills. I think Wamai is a little bit better in solo lane than Yeg because you can just throw his disc on the fly. You have impacts that also make plays. I mean, I feel like Wamai just kind of floats around the sites, the map a little bit easier than Yeg would. Oryx, definitely C tier category. Could potentially argue more like D tier category. Solo queue Oryx, unless you're really dropping kills, I just don't see much of a point. But I mean, I do have kill only operators higher, but I just feel like their kits are overall better. Oryx does have a T5, but like, I feel like if people see an Oryx, they assume that you're throwing. But I'll place him C tier just because he can counter a Montaigne. So there. Lucy, pretty easy operator to understand and play off of. Banshees, MP5s. The only thing that keeps away from S tier is that she is slow as hell. So Aruni, she's slow as hell too. You can make lines of sight, rotates, and she does have that DMR. Only thing that keeps Aruni is the fact that she's slow as well. But defender DMRs are so damn good. I love them. Now Thunderbird. I just don't see a point. Doc exists. Why even bother? Thunderbird did get buffed, but I just don't think that it makes sense, personally. So Thorn. I'll place Thorn here and place Alibi up because I do think that Alibi is more useful than Thorn. I was like looking at the two compared to each other. Alibi can be used for like doors and windows and stuff, and you can play off the Alibi clone somewhat. And she does have a shotgun to set up the site, so she does have some. A zombie is always S tier on every tier list ever because she's really damn good no matter what situation you're in. A pretty obvious one for me. Solis. I think that you are better off not picking Solis. Unless you really love that P90. Then go for it. But, I mean, Rook and Doc exist. I just don't see why you'd ever pick Solis. I don't get it. So. Fenrir. Fenrir has to be probably S tier. It's really annoying to deal with the smokes, but I mean, I can't really say anything wrong about Fenrir. I mean, it is rank 2.0. There's a lot of TDM meta. This kind of stops that quite a bit. Because I also hear a lot of people complain about like, bro, everyone just rushes in, pushes. If you brought utility like Fenrir, they can't really do that because then they can't see it all. It fucks with them. Bring better util. Stop picking Alibi. Stop picking Thorn. Bring things that are going to slow them down, like maybe a Malusi, maybe a Fenrir. Hell, bring a Capkin too. I bet you they aren't rushing you anymore. They're going to take their time. They have to. Two Brow. I'll place him in B tier because I love Tuberal. I think he's really good when paired with another wall denial. You can really slow them down. And his DMR shreds. And he has a Nitro. And he's pretty fast. I mean, a lot of kill potential. Decent wall denial potential. So, Scopos in solo. I would say that she is... I'll say she's B tier. She can be really effective on a fragger, or roamer. I mean, she can do a lot. Playing off her shield is really fucking strong. The ability to swap and teleport across the map is also strong. And she has impacts to make aggressive plays. So, I think that's it for the defenders. Let me make sure. One quick sweep. Yeah, that's it. This is my defending operator tier list for solo queue. Those of you spamming in chat, hello. Again, this is a solo queue operator tier list. This is not a tier list based on a normal game where you have a 5-stack, everyone's working in common together. This is like if you are solo queue and you're going to have minimal teamwork with your team, what operators you'll probably have more success on winning matches, winning rank games, playing these ops versus playing, these ops. So that's it for today. Oh, Mira? I forgot Mira! Almost. I mean, I gotta play Mira S tier. It's really easy to play around a Mirror, and Vector, Nitro, Mirrors can almost win you matches just by standing behind a mirror if they don't actually destroy it in a real way. So there you go. All right, now this is the tier list, and make sure to subscribe, drop a comment, and leave a like down below for more. I love you guys. Make sure to sub, and that's it. Sorry, doing this in one take. Sometimes you make mistakes.